Yeah.
Order filled, check us out.
You know what time it is.
This is a Mighty Soldiers exclusive.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it.
What's up, guys? Andy with Mighty Soldiers Trades here. We're back. We're going to talk about the markets really quick with Gianni, but today Gianni is with us from the beach, so I'm just going to bring him on here. What's up, Gianni? How you doing?
Okay, Andy. How's it going with you?
So live from the beach, man. That's awesome. I know the feeling because that's where I love to live now. Like I love to be there. So
yep. Oh,
So
I
you're-
muted my mic.
what's that?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yes. I said that you had muted my mic, but yeah, man, it's great to be back and good sunshine here. A little bit of a red tide, so that's unfortunate, but it's better than being without power back in Michigan.
Yeah, the warm weather's nice, but I think we're getting to the point where it's going to be hot weather. So it's getting pretty hot already. So
Yeah.
Gianni, we got like alien invasions. We got inflation wars going on. I mean, what don't we have going on that could be potentially negative for the market? The market took a little bit of a hit, a pullback after looking pretty strong this morning. Do you have any information that you'd like to share that you're looking at right now that's helping keep you centered in your trade?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that we're not making lower lows and lower highs right now in the indices. So, pulling back off that high from a couple weeks ago, and I'm looking for a higher low here, and if that forms, then I think we're in good shape. We've still got some of the $3,800, $3,900 area in the S&P, and we had some buyers step into the picture on Friday at the close, even though we went out near the lows of the week. There is still some support in this market. We have to see if that holds, and ultimately we're in a choppy neutral zone. So the fact that we're not going down, I think is a positive in the short term.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying this morning. In the near term, we're continuing to look pretty strong, pretty bullish, and overall, we are in this sort of limbo zone. We've come to a point where we're flat. But is there anything that you're looking at as far as currencies or bonds or anything that really has given you a clearer outlook?
I'm still bullish on the dollar. I mean, we had another hotter than expected inflation report on Friday. So, we talked about this last week. It's a really weird macro environment we're in now where inflation means the dollar's bullish. So, as long as interest rates are higher in the U.S. than abroad, then I think we're gonna keep seeing the dollar catch a bid.
Yeah, we got a beach bum and the blind trader here in the chat. And what beach do you live on, Gianni? I think that where are you right now, Gianni?
Yeah, I'm in Sarasota, Lido Beach.
All right. I mean, I'm not trying to, reveal where Gianni is so people can go find him or anything, but I'm just saying, what area are you in? Sorry. But anyways, yeah, man. Yeah, we were over in Melbourne Beach yesterday, and basically the water's getting bluer, the air's getting warmer, and it's amazing out there.
Yeah, Lido Beach. I came here last year, really liked it, so I decided to come back again this year.
And I know that Beach Bum, he is from Melbourne Beach. Every single morning he's out there. So I one day, I know that we've had to have crossed paths, but maybe we didn't recognize each other walking by, but we've had to have seen each other out there.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So basically the same. I mean, in the near term, you're still expecting the markets to continue to show relative strength.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really keeping an eye on energy right now because a lot of the commodities were the inflation hedges over the last 2 years between 2020 and 2022. But that trade hasn't really been working as well. So we're getting these hotter than expected inflation readings, but energy is kind of just going sideways. But I will say this, that we're seeing relative strength from the energy stocks compared to the spot price of crude oil. So that's a good sign. And if crude oil does rebound, then I would look for that leadership in energy to continue. But if you look at the performance of all the 11 sectors in the S&P going back to July 1st, you're still seeing strength from the inflation sectors like energy, industrials, and basic materials. And you're still seeing, the good news about that is you're still seeing consumer staples and utilities lag. And when you see those defensive sectors lag, that's a risk-on signal in and of itself.
Yeah, for me, I can tell you that Basically just getting to the desk every day. What I like to tell myself is that I've said this a million times, but I owned a lot of venomous snakes in my life, and I learned from the first time I've ever done this, and I've said this so many times you guys probably would wish I wouldn't say it no more, but I grabbed the first Eastern or Western Diamondback that I owned behind the head, and he tried to start biting through his own face in order to bite my hand. And when he did that, that made me start to shake, because I did not know a snake could bite through its own face to try to bite me. And when I started to shake, I got to the point where I knew that I had to put this snake down, and I had to put him down on the floor right in front of me, where he went underneath my dresser. So I've had very similar situations in my trades. So what I like to do, I like to take whatever outlook I can find that gives me the thesis and the plan for my trades, but then I like to grab it by the tail. So I want to wait for that nice reaction or that move against what my plan or my thesis is before I decide to mess with it. And I always say, like, bring it in like a football. I also, when I was younger, I stuck my hands out and I had the football hit my fingers and nearly snapped my finger. Like, I had a swollen finger for a while and everything. And I learned at that point from my neighbor. He says, look, you don't just put your hands out there and leave them there. You bring them in and curve your body, and you absorb the force of the football, with your hands. So that's what I'm looking to do. And I absolutely hate it when I get FOMO and I get into these things, beforehand. But talking to people like you, though, Gianni, it really helps me to have a greater outlook for looking for strong value rather than just looking for hot potato plays where I'm just grabbing because I see that price can give me something and getting in and out. That's what I truly appreciate. And I look to grow with this. And I hope everybody who joins us, they get to grow with this. I was thinking about me and you putting out a call to action and getting people into maybe a small, basically a small little course, something that we can help people out with and go from there. But it's great that you join us. I know that you're on the beach and you're having a good time out there. So we don't really need to keep people too long today. But is there anything else you really want to share?
Yeah, keep an eye out for uranium. I've been looking at a couple of these uranium stocks, whether it's Cameco or Centrus Energy. Tickers are CCJ or LEU. And especially LEU, Centrus, that was up like 15-16% last week. So really showing some relative strength. And, whether or not it's from, geopolitical tensions that they're catching a bit or, a pivot away into, greater societal use of nuclear energy. That remains to be seen. But I think uranium has a good, fundamental backdrop right now, too.
Awesome. Yeah, this morning I was looking at basically cattle. All types of cattle right now, all types of beef seems to be just going a little too high for my comfort zone because I really enjoy beef. I mean, so I'm guessing I'm going to have to pay a little more for my groceries. And that's another thing. I was reading this morning from Nell Sloan, and she'd said that about $394 a month extra is what the average American family is paying out in their budget per month. So that just this beef thing and food prices, and it's probably gonna catch up with us where it's maybe gonna get a little worse than that. But that's just the headwinds that we have.
Yeah, I mean, really, it sucks to say though, the best way to beat inflation is to increase your income. I mean, you can't cut your expenses away to cure inflation. That's just a treatment, but a cure and a treatment are not the same thing. So, got to find ways to grow your income, and if we can, find that in the market, that's the best way to do it, I think.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always thought about as far as the economy and everybody, all the perma bears that say that the market's going to crash like every single time, and they tell you all this really scary news as to why it's going to crash. It doesn't really take into account that it's like a self-healing dartboard. When one expands, the other expands. It's like a pendulum also. It takes care of itself. The markets do so. And then, I'm not really sure that I believe in so much Fed intervention. I think that the markets could take care of themselves much better if we were to leave them alone. That's my opinion on that too. But
yeah, I think that people would be surprised how much the Fed actually listens to the market. I mean, it seems like a convenient excuse to be like, oh, the market did this because of the Fed. But I mean, when it comes to rate hikes or rate costs, a lot of times the Fed's just doing what the market wants them to do. That's why, you have the Fed probability fund rate and the futures for all that stuff. And, the Fed's not dictating the futures of all that stuff. So, I think the whole manipulation excuse, if you will, is just an easy way out for really lack of discipline and risk management and whatnot.
Yeah, Beach Bum says that he's been watching UROYDNNLEUUUU. So yeah, exactly. I started to mess around with those a little too early. I took a little bit of profit and got out, unfortunately. I'm growing up, guys. I'm getting a longer outlook. I'm starting to grow just a little bit. It baby steps, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's important, when you're managing risk. I do believe in having separate accounts for, the goals you're trying to achieve. I mean, your risk management profile, if you're trying to generate income from the market, is not going to be the same as your retirement portfolio. So, time horizon matters with respect to risk management. It's important that you consider both of those factors when you're, picking stocks or whatever.
Yeah, that's but getting back to some irresponsible talk, I started out doing the exact opposite. I get into a quick trade, a day trade, and I would decide that I want to keep that as an investment. I would make that my retirement portfolio. And let's just say that retirement portfolio was probably the ugliest retirement portfolio ever, because what I think really happened was we were reverse split, trade down, reverse split, trade down, reverse split, trade down, to the point where I had thousands of shares, and I think they became like one. I think the shares became one. So
I mean, I've been there too. I remember I think you were trading, I'm sure you were trading around back then. It was like 2013, 2014. There was one of those pot stock booms, and I had a few thousand shares of a penny pot stock, and I was like, wow, trading is easy. And slowly but surely they just did reverse splits, diluted their shares, and it ended up becoming worthless. So yeah, that was a painful lesson I learned early on. Crazy to think that was almost 10 years ago.
I mean, I really like to share this stuff on my end all the time, because I just really feel like people that are getting into this don't know. They don't understand. So, looking at the macros, looking at at just anything that can give us that edge, whether it be on the chart or in the economy or anything, but also understanding that if we're going to chase like that easy money, expect the easy loss, because it's much easier to lose when we're chasing that thing that we have no belief in, no knowledge of, and we just hear some hype about it,
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, FOMO is probably the most costly emotion that you'll have in this market. So yeah, I mean, that's a timeless principle. It really doesn't matter, when you're trading. Now, if FOMO is working for you, then that usually means you're close to a peak. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, but I would really like to, just basically do our best to help share what you do over with Benzinga, and also you share your letter still.
Yeah, I've consolidated down. I do some work with MMA Cycles as well, and that's kind of like my flagship, publications, so to speak.
Yeah, so basically, I'd like to put links to everything that you're doing right now in the description. Help people to come where they can learn from somebody who's doing it right and actually, putting the work in, instead of some guru out there that's really just trying to rake in followers for whatever reason. And that's why I invite the guests on that I invite on, because I know that you guys are actually, you've been in here, you've already done it. You're not really trying to grab the next hype thing,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be trying to sell you a gold newsletter that's saying the whole world's going to crash and gold's going to 10,000 by tomorrow. I mean, I know you've seen that stuff too, and it's funny. It's like when I first got into this business, over a decade ago, I did fall for that stuff, and I was just like, oh, any day now, and it's just like at some point, like when are they wrong? How wrong does it take, to recognize that you're wrong? And that's what risk management is about. So hopefully, our goal with our conversations here, Andy, is to help people think about risk management at first instead of, after the losses.
I love that. Real quick though, you did bring up gold. Do you have any opinion on this pullback with precious metals?
Yeah, we're in support. I was looking for support in the 1800, 1820 area. We're here now, so let's see what happens. But if interest rates start ticking up even further, it's going to be a big headwind for metals. So, we'll see how we do at support here. But if inflation starts to pick back up, it's really counterintuitive for many. Gold has not done well in inflation. So, I'm not really all that optimistic about it in the short term.
Now, when you trade gold, do you trade in your futures account only, or do you also trade ETFs in the stock world?
You know, it's mainly futures, and then I'll buy gold mining stocks or silver. I mean, the thing is, you look at historically, when you actually get a strong metals run, silver stocks tend to be the biggest generators of alpha. When you're seeing gold hold up on a better relative basis compared to silver, that's usually a risk-off signal. So that's what we've been seeing lately.
Well, awesome, Gianni. Thanks so much for joining us from the beach. I definitely don't want to take up too much of your day because it looks like you're having a really good day. And I'm about to do the same exact thing over here. So I'm off to the beach, guys. Thanks for joining us. Blind Trader, Beach Bum, everybody. And we'll see you next week, Gianni. Thanks.
Later, Andy. Have a good one. Thank you.